Hi, I'm Subu bringing crafting to you and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and press the notification button. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers so I can again do lives on YouTube. So I showed you how to make the outside of the exploding box yesterday. So this was the exploding box that we've made, and we decorated the lid. I've not got round to decorating this one yet, so I'll leave that there. And remember, these are filled with all goodies. I've got the Lindt chocolates in there. I have the hot chocolate in there. I have your bubble bath in there, and then the last one, oops, I've not put that there properly, and the last one has your tea lights in there. Okay, so today we are going to start to make the boxes. So I'm just going to flip this up, and I decided I don't like the plain top, so we're going to cover the lids. Okay, so I'll just move that one out, and we're going to start off by doing the larger pizza box. So this measures 11 and a quarter, so it's 11 and a quarter by 4 1/8. You will then put it in at the 11 and quarter side, and you will score at 3/4, 5 1/4, 6, and then 10 1/2. You will rotate to the short end, and then you will score at 3/4, rotate it round, and then score at 3/4. So they're all your score marks. So then all we're going to do is just burnish our score lines. So we'll just burnish these score lines, all of them, and the outside edges. So these are very easy to make, the pizza boxes. So they don't take too long to make, so just your cutting and your scoring take your time, but once you've done that, they make up pretty easy. So I'm just going to get my scissors now, and I'm going to, which way do I like to do it? Yes, I'm just going to cut down the score line, so I'm just going slightly to this side of the score line, so you can see the score line still left on the tab. I will then do the same at the other side, just cutting down to your score lines. I will then just notch slightly on either side like that, and I will do the same on the other side like that. We're then going to turn it to the side, and these two middle score lines, we're just going to do the same. So I'm going to cut up just before the score line. I'm going to wedge that side there. I'm going to wedge this side here, but then also cut away this score line there. Okay, just to that one. So that should look like that. I'm then going to move and do identical at the other side, and I'm just going to wedge each of these sides now. There. And then I'm just going to mirror that. So I'm going to cut up the just before the score line, and then wedge in at that side and wedge in at that side. So you've got those like that, and then the same, I'm cutting just before the score line and then wedge in. Take that away and wedge the other side. So I'm wedging before the score line, if you can see. Then I'm cutting up just before that score line, so it just cuts the score line away, and we've already done that. Okay, so just pop those away. Now this is going to be my lid, so this is going to fold like this. So I'm turning it round on the other side, and we're going to stick on our DSP. Now there is only 1 day left of the celebration. So if you're wanting this DSP, you need to buy something quickly, because it is going to end and you will not be able to buy it. It's only available free when you spend £45, and that is not including postage. So if you haven't got a demonstrator, I'd love to be a demonstrator. If you message me or drop me an email, I'll tell you how. You don't need a hostess code with me. I can give you one if you prefer one. Right, just let me give you the size of that DSP. So that DSP is 2.5 by 4 3/8. And then I've also got a little piece that I'm going to put on the front, but I'm going to turn it around so it shows the other side of the DSP. Okay, so we're going to let that, and that is going to fit on the end here. So I'm just going to make sure that that's equal increments all the way round. And then before you put the box together, now I forgot to do this, so I'm not going to make the same mistake. So whatever rounding, whether you've got a punch like me, is great. You can even do that type of rounding with any of your circle dies. Just run it through your die cutting machine. So I've just done that, and now I'm just going to get my red tape. As I say, you could use your Seal Plus for this. I've not invested yet in Seal Plus. I might do that at some point. Right, so I'm going to put this right up against that score line, and then just cut that off, and then at the bottom of my tab, so that I've done those two there, and then we'll repeat this on the other side. Okay, and then we're going to do the bottom like that, and then turn it on its side, and I'm going to put the strong tape. You could use your tear and tape. I do have tear and tape, but when I'm making boxes, I don't know, I just it's my preference to use this red tape. I think you feel safe with things that you've used for a long time, and I have used this red liner tape for a long time now. I trust it, my boxes say secure with it, so I tend to just use it. I will invest in some Seal Plus at some point, and because I know that that is very good. So as I say, you can use the Seal Plus. It will work, but not the seal. The seal will come, is great for just putting your paper, putting the DSP on, but it's not a good idea to make boxes with it, because you put quite a lot of force on lids and things and boxes, and it's not designed for that purpose, although Seal Plus is designed for that purpose and is extremely strong glue. So, and just one more. Okay, and then we'll start to put this together. Okay, so move that out of the way, and I'm just going to burnish these down. It's so strange for me not having people watching me and talking to me while I'm working. And I have told you the reason why. It's because it's got such a faff for me to do lives on Facebook, because I really want to, whoops, and I put glue in between. I like to upload straight away when I've done it as a Facebook live, and I did have that option. But then all of a sudden my phone updated, and when I went onto my Facebook, did my live, and then it wouldn't let me upload it. And it's such a faff to go on my laptop, get it out, download it. Oh, I forgot to take the release tape off, that's why it's not sticking. So it's such a faff to do that I want easier options for me, and the easiest option is now if I just, that needs burnishing down, well, is to do them now without them being live, unfortunately, until I can go live on YouTube. So that's the box top, and then we're just going to fit the box base together now. So that's quite easy. Just gonna repeat the same thing. So stick some glue on there, and then we're going to pop that to the bottom part now. So make sure you just bend that in, just line that up so that you get a nice corner edge, and just go round putting these together. I like to put that little bit of glue in there. So line those up and just press it, and then we'll do these. So that goes there, and we'll pop that on there like that. And then our last one, the release tape's getting, it's very static and it gets stuck to you, terrible. So let's see how we're doing. So I don't know how many of the boxes, whether we'll get it to fit all together. I'm just going to see how long it takes me to do each box. Okay, so that is there. On the last one, that's it. Do that, and then that just goes, the lid goes over the top, and we just close that one down. There we go, so that's a nice snug fit. And so that's box number 1 done, so just put that on one side, and we'll do the same design. This is the next one, and this is 11 1/4 by 3 1/4, and we have scored it at 3/4 inch, 5 1/4, 6 and 10 1/2, and then down each side we've scored at 3/4 inch, rotate it round, and 3/4 inch. And we're just going to do exactly the same. We're just going to burnish all these score lines. Pizza boxes are so easy to make, so we're just going to do this. So I did 2 pizza boxes, and then I've done some different boxes for the other 2. So just make sure that they're burnished, and burnish these down here, and we'll just cut these exactly the same. So before I do that, this one I'll choose to be the front. So I'm just going to stick this on, and then I will tell you again what the measurements are. So if you stick your DSP on first, this is going to go, that looks a little bit narrower than what it should be. I haven't picked a, no, I haven't picked a one up by mistake, so that does look as though I've cut that a bit too narrow, but we'll go with it. Okay, and this little piece. So I would make it a little bit bigger than this, so I'll just check what this is. I don't know why I've done that, but I'll just check on this. It wants to be 1/8 of an inch wider than this, so that needs to be I would say 1 9/16. That's what it's supposed to be, and I've cut it short by 9/16. So that should be 1 9/16 by that doesn't look quite so bad. I would do that, yeah, that might be all right, with 4 3/8. So sorry about that. It's too late for me now on mine. And again, I'm just going to come in and use my punch to punch a little. Let's make sure I'm in the middle. It just helps you on those finger holes. And I'm going to cut down that score line. So I'm just cutting this exactly the same as I did the previous one. So I'm now going to angle my tabs. So I'll do the same at the other side. So once you've made one of these pizza boxes, you just more or less do the same thing. I'm turning it on its side, cutting down that score line, then I'm going to wedge it, and I'm going to wedge before the score line and then cut down the score line to cut it off. And then at the other side I'm going to cut down the score line, and I'm going to wedge on either side like that. Turn round and repeat at the other side. So I'm cutting down to get rid of the score line, and then wedge the two outside pieces there. And just the same, I'm cutting down the score line and wedging, and then I wedge this side, and then I cut my score line off. If you're happier to cut the score line off and wedge second, do that, because I've made loads of the, and don't go cutting that tab off. It's very tempting, but don't do it. Okay, so we're going to go again, and I'm going to stick the red liner tape in exactly the same place. So this is where you can just speed up the video now. You don't have to watch me sticking the tape, because you've seen me do it once. You can fast forward this to the end, and I just assembled it the same as the other one, so you will be able to fast forward that. There you go, and there, and then go to the side, and I'm going to put that up against the score line there, cut that and do that there. Okay, and this one here, so we're going to just put that up against the score line, cut that, and then this one here. So please share my videos. That's one way of helping me to get more subscribers, so I can go back to doing lives. I do really like doing the lives, because you have people to talk to, and they can ask you questions if they're not sure about something, or when I'm wanting decisions like, shall I stick this here or do that? It's quite helpful. So we're going to go to that one there, and then that one there, And then it's best just to, with this red liner tape, just go round and burnish these all down to the card. Then it makes lifting of your release paper a lot easier. Okay, so those two there, those two there. Okay, just move those out of the way. And what have I done with my pokey tool? Don't know. Okay, it's like my grandson. You ask him, he's 2 now, but even before he was 2 he could talk, and you ask him something and he says, I don't know. What are you doing that for? I don't know. He's so cute. Okay, so going to line that up, put that there, and take these 2 off. And put some glue on there and line that up. There we go. And then these 2. Not pressed it down enough. Okay, and don't adhere it to your lid. This is the base, so you're not adhering that to the lid. You want your base. So I'm bringing round my base, sticking it there. Take these release tapes off and put a bit of glue in there and stick those down like that. Release tape off. And put a little bit of glue in between and stick those there, and then the last one stick in there and stick in there and do that, and now that one is there, and then pop that one over the top. Oh, now that has come a little bit further over, so I just, whoops, didn't note that while I was doing it, so I'm just going to cut that away. So just be careful if you've done that, because once it's in this position, you cannot get back in with your punch. Oh, there we go. That's okay. So that's that. And then we're going to put that. So that's your hot chocolate box. So that's your chocolate box, hot chocolate box. And now we're going to make the bubble bath one. So let me just move that one into, move that away. Right. So this one is 7.5 by 8 1/4. So on your long side, you're going to score at 1 3/4 and 6.5. Turn on to your 7.5 side, and again, you're going to score at 1 3/4, 3.5, and 5 1/4 and 7. Okay, sorry. So you're going to score again. I'll just do this side. You're going to score at 1 3/4, 3.5, 5 1/4 and 7. Okay, so let's just burnish our score lines now. Now I decided in the finish to do this slightly different to give it an opening and close. So instead of just doing a box and then it's glued flat, I decided we'd make it open and close. Okay, so we've got all those burnished. So first of all, I'm going to cut up all my score lines. So I'm going to go, so this, you're cutting up to your score line. And I'm not going to wedge at the moment, I'm just going to cut each one up to the score line. So that's how I'm going to do it. And then this end one, I'm going to cut up to the score line, but when I turn it round, I'm going to wedge just slightly like that. And that will take out that piece, so you're ending up like that. So I'm also going to cut this one, and I'm going to take it roughly to about 1/2 inch. So I'm roughly going to do that 1/2 inch, and I'm going to wedge slightly on that side and wedge slightly on that side, okay, because this will form your tuck-in layer. So I'm going to wedge very slightly there on this one, and then I'm going to cut away all of this. So I'm going to go right to my line, so I've taken that away, and then I'll cut down my score line, and then I'm going to cut this about 1/2 inch. It doesn't matter exact, it's just rough, about 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to slightly wedge in there and slightly wedge there, so that that's the front part. And then I'm going to cut down these score lines here and this score line here. Okay, so that when that comes together, that tucks in like that, and that tucks in like that, and that tucks in. So that is my lid that tucks in. So what I'm going to do is, did I end up doing this? I'm just going to check on there. Yes, I did. Right, I'm going to turn it over. So just have a look again. You can see all these that just lift up, and then how I've cut that one. So I'm now going to stick my DSP on each of the 3, because one will be the bottom, and I've just got to check which one's the bottom. I think it's that way round I'll need it. Okay, hope I haven't done this the wrong way, because that looks a bit narrower. Is that right? It should be square all the way around. I'm getting a little worried now, because just going to check. Something's gone wrong. So I wonder if this didn't measure the right. I might just have to cut a bit of card again. Just let me measure that. Which one's that? That's 7.5. Let's see whether I said 7.5. Yes, by 7.5 by 8.25, and it should have been scored at 1 3/4. That was not 1 3/4, so something went wrong. I didn't score it at 1 3/4. Right, I gave you the right measurements. I think that is wrong, so just have to quickly cut another one. Okay, what's that? So just going to have to quickly cut another one, which is 7.5. Thought we were doing well. So let's see, 7.5. Take that away by 8.25, which is your sheet width. And then on the long side. So should it have been the long side or should it have been the short side? Let's just make sure that, I wonder if that pushed it. Right, okay. So we should have 1 3/4 and 7, and that would be the 7.5 side. So I'm going to do the 7.5 inch side first. So the 7.5 inch side should be 1 3/4. So I'm going to just take my blade off. So that's 1 3/4. So 1 3/4, 3 1/2, and 3 1/2, and then 5 1/4, 5 1/4, and 7 inches, and that should just leave me 1/2 inch. Yes, that's correct. And then spin that around, and then it's going to be 1 on the 8 1/4 inch side. It's going to be 1 3/4. So that's going to be there, 1 3/4, and then 6 1/2. Okay, so that should be correct now. I'll just put my pieces on. That looks right. Yep, that's right. There, don't know what I've done with that other piece. I've definitely done it wrong. Okay, so we'll start again then with burnishing. So sorry about that. I gave you the correct measurements, but obviously my piece of card that I'd started with, I either scored it on the wrong side or didn't get the right size to start with. So do apologise for that. Hopefully I can speed up to catch you up to where you want. Okay. So try again now. So I'm going to cut up all the score lines. So cut it up enough. That's it. And cut up all the score lines. Cut up this score line. And cut up this score line, and then on this one I'm going to slightly wedge it, very slightly, and cut this off at about 1/2 inch, and then we're going to wedge that slightly and wedge this side slightly. Okay, and then I'm going to slightly wedge this side again, and then totally cut this piece off. And then cut this to about 1/2 inch, and we'll cut down this score line, and then we will wedge that and slightly wedge that, then cut down this score line and cut down this score line. Okay, so that should be folded in, and so we turn it over. And now we're going to put our DSP on the outside. So the DSP measures 1 5/8 by 4 5/8, and you want 3 of these. So we're just going to get that. So we're going to put that on there. So we're going to make sure we've got equal increments all the way round. And that will be the side of the box. So you're going to put another one, exactly the same measurements. On the side there, and then you're going to miss one. Okay, so we're going to miss that one because when we've got it together, that tucks in and that is the bottom. So you're missing that one, and then you're going to stick the next one there. So this is fabulous DSP. I've got some more coming. You can colour it, so it's a great DSP. With it being black and white, there's no end you can do with it. So we're going to pop that there, equal increments there, and then I'm just going to do a, oops, pull that forward a bit, oh, too much. Is that right? That's it. And I'm just going to eyeball this roughly in the middle and just put a thumb hole. Okay. So all we're going to do now is I'm going to work out which one I want to go forward, and I'm going to chop one of these. So we'll have that going in there. Just going to check in my original one which one I chopped. So let's see. So I definitely had so that's going to go in there. I want that straight. So I think this one's going to come up like that. So that's going to go there. So I'm going to wedge the second one in. So I'm wedging the second one in now. I'm going to wedge it on both sides. Okay. Straighten that up a bit. And repeat on the other side. And to that side. Okay. There's it, and just have a look again. So that's going to go inside, that's going to go up there like that, it's going to go inside, and that one is totally going to go inside. So I think that will be happy with that. Let's have a look. I'm going to take a little wedge off the next one down as well. So I'm wedging the last one as well. So, and we'll have another look again, see what I've done. Okay, so it's going to be, straighten it up a bit. There we go. So repeat on the other side. So I'm going to wedge it slightly on that side and wedge it on that side. So just show you again, I haven't wedged the tabs there, but I've wedged the next two and that. So that's how your pattern piece should look. Okay, so I'm going to have this one going inside. So I'm going to put glue on this tab here. And I'm going to bring up this one. So I'm going to make sure I've got the square corner, and then this one is going to fit on top. So show you. So that one is going to go on top, and I've just decided that that section there needs to be a bit smaller. So let me undo the tab there. It's that one, so I'm just going to come back through it, so it's that one. The center one, I'm just going to take a little bit off, and I'll do that on the other side. So I'll just show you again. Okay, so it's the middle of the 3 larger ones. I've just taken a slight bit off. So we've got that coming in, that going up, and then that is going on the outside to finish the box off. So just make sure that I've got that square. Okay, and then I'll do the same. So okay, they go in the outside, that one's going to come there, so it's that one there. So the middle one I'm going to leave in the middle. I'm going to bring this one up, make sure I'm keeping it square, and then this one is going to wrap around there to make sure my box is square at the ends. Okay, so that I've got some nice square ends. And then these, all 3, just tuck them inside, and they just tuck in to make your box nice and neat. And decide which way I want my box to hold. So I think I did it, yeah, I did it on that side. So here I have got a piece, if I can find it now. Add a piece for the top. What have I done with it? It's there. So this measures, and again I'm going for the stripes, and I'll just have a look at my stripes, how they're looking, because I've got that. Oh, I put the wrong one on there. Oh, it meant to be the stripe side, so I will have stripes going all around, and that one I decorated the wrong side, so I will have to do one and put another stripe on there, because I wanted the stripes to be showing. So doesn't matter which way they're going kind of all around really, and that one was supposed to have some on as well. Okay, now the video is going to be too long, so what I'm going to do is I will complete part 3, and that should be all we need of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Do appreciate that you've stopped by. Don't forget to subscribe to me if you're not already. Hope you like my design idea. I think it's a great present as a pamper kit, because you've got everything you need to have a relaxing bath. So remember, this is, I'm bringing it in how it is, and the lid goes on like that. So there we go. So so I will finish off in my next video, hopefully tomorrow. Thank you. Bye. Stay safe, stay well.